funny part, everybody loves leadership. Nobody likes to actually do some things to lead. So, hey, you're at where you're at. Welcome, guys. Another Mids Watch. This one, it's a bit more lighthearted. It's a guy trying to learn how to handle, like, being the patriarch. Get handle on things in a long-term relationship. Long-term, not long-distance. There's no such thing as long-distance relationships. I'll cut right to it, though. Hey, guys. I've been here on and off, along with the other guys at the Red Pill and the Ask the Red Pill. I'm exposed to it. I want to swallow it and regain control of my life. So to that end, I've worked hard over the past 8 months to find myself a better job that I can make a career out of now that I'm here at a new job. But it has caused many of what I guess are shit tests at home with the 5-year girlfriend. Basically, for the last 3 years, I've bent to her will, dropped the kids off to school when she didn't want to, picked them up from school every day when we got home, made dinner, cleaned, everything. And when she finally walked into the house at 7 or 7:30, everything was done. And yeah, insert Chad comment about her working late, I get it. So the new job comes and things have to change. I can't leave early every day and go get the kids. And the first week was a challenge, including one day where she just didn't leave and the kids were at school until after they closed and I had to rush home to get them. But she eventually fell in line, is now getting the kids every day. I get home yesterday and my girlfriend and the kids are on the couch watching a marathon of Dance Moms. And now I'm pretty sure they were home for at least an hour, because I guess that's how long the episodes are, and nothing's been done. No one even looks at him when he walks in the door. The kitchen isn't cleaned from dinner night before, pots and pans on the stove. He's like, I cooked, she didn't clean. I feel like I'm being baited out here. Now, I was gonna make dinner anyway, frankly, because I'm the better cook, but now I have at least 30 minutes of cleaning before I can even start dinner. And from what I read, it smells like a shit test to me just to see if I'll do it. But in the end, how far do you push that test? I don't want to be eating at 11 at night. So it looks to me, even though I'm doing my part, now it's just her expectation of me to do everything. And everything I read on here at the related sub shows me I have the beta tendencies, once a month sex, feelings of no respect, finances out of control. And he's like, I don't get it. I'm in good shape. I'm like 6'6", 250 pounds. I could use some time in the gym and lifting. So I don't know. I'm just trying to see where I can push these shit tests, pass it, and move on, whatever. And a couple thoughts before we get started. She's just lazy. Like, people treat you as shitty as you let them, women especially. And so for his case, the reason she doesn't do any of this stuff is because she doesn't want to. And he's given her zero incentive to try. Instead, he would rather be the guy mumbling to himself and bitching about it. And it's just, he's set no expectations for her. Now, he's coming from a good position because he's been doing work. Literally, she could die tomorrow and the family would still keep going. That's how much work he's doing. And the idea is that work is supposed to be where your authority derives. So when you tell her, get up and clean the fucking pots, and she starts giving you flack, you're like, no. I've got the career. I'm doing the cooking. Clean up the fucking pots. Because he's done enough work to know that he isn't insecure about that. He doesn't feel the need to negotiate. It's more of a command. He's commanding respect as opposed to demanding it. The only thing he's missing is that spine at the end. He just wants her to do it without him having to say. And that's the one thing a lot of leaders miss. They assume leadership is inferred. It's not. It's direct. Clean the fucking pots. So Jack's like, oh boy, look, I don't think Chad really exists. She's not at work cheating on him. I think your wife's just lazy. She stays late at work because that's a handy excuse to avoid responsibility for anywhere else in her life. You only fed into this narrative because it looks like your employment prospects were shitty before you got this shitty job. I've transformed. I'm charming. I'm good looking and in shape, but bored. I need something to do next. Another challenge to conquer. Please give it to me. She got to hamster that she was the breadwinner, so things like picking up the kids or dinner or whatever was something else that she could just unload on you. Well, you want that to change. When it comes to leading your household, start small. Set up a joint account, put all the money for the bills to be paid in there, get her to transfer an equal share that you do to pay the said bills, and then you have your paycheck separate. Tell your family you expect to have a clean kitchen to come home to you if they want dinner. No clean kitchen, no dinner. The first time you're going to come home, and you will come home to a dirty kitchen, no dinner. Tell everybody you're going to buy some groceries, but you're only going to cook said groceries so the kitchen's clean when you get back in 30 minutes. And if it's still not clean, then just make yourself a sandwich and let them fend for themselves. You bought the groceries, they can fend for themselves. And keep repeating this as needed. Your wife and your kids will whine. Let them. Oh, stepkids. I knew it. Look at that, stepkids. Son of a bitch. Anyways, once you feel this is all running smoothly, take another step in financial leadership. Put together a savings plan to buy a house or some other goal. Tell your wife you want her to put in most of her paycheck, as you will, into a joint account. So part of your paycheck goes to bills, part goes to savings, long-term plans. The rest is just discretionary. You do what you want with it, right? And when you get to that point, cancel cable. It'll save money, and people cut the board. You know, they can watch Netflix if they have to. I give my kids, his kids are 9, an app allowance. They get $20 a month to spend on digital goods, TV shows, games, whatever. And at least this way they learn about consumption as consequences. Watching bad TV shows is literally money out of their pocket. Alternatively, if they watch too much on the weekends, flip the circuit breaker in your house off. It's the weekend. You can't call a repair guy, just tell him to get out of the house and go play in the park or something. They'll be bored as hell for an hour, then they'll figure out a game to play because that's what kids do. Put together a plan for yourself, physical, professional development, etc. These are just some small steps to get things moving forward. Some will say things like the circuit breaker are too beta and you should just order them to play outside. But I find setting up a narrative that's out of your hands make it easier to set up a frame when you don't have one. So the next weekend you can just shut off the TV and say it's summer, go play outside. You did it last weekend and you had fun. So you mentioned one of the kids are 12, buy some hand weights, get them into some exercises, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'll end on this. With stepkids, your authority comes from your actions. You're like a teacher or a coach. You don't get the same kind of intrinsic respect a parent does, but if you're a good leader and somebody to admire, they'll listen to you more than their other parent, including their mom. So I'll end on this. If you understand kind of where he's going with this, it's that the guy does good work. He's the father that stepped up, not whatever. And the problem is nobody respects his authority. Nobody wants his respect. And that's because he doesn't give them any consequences for it. And so what he's teaching here is just very basic boundary enforcement, In this case, I'm going to cook dinner, but clean the kitchen. And at first, people test these boundaries. Dude, just watch right now. If you're at the time I recorded this, Elon Musk just bought Twitter. And he was saying, things are going to change. What did everybody do? Everybody on one side of the spectrum started throwing N-bombs on Twitter to test the new boundaries of free speech. And the other half started impersonating celebrities and causing traffic, causing problems. Everybody tests boundaries when they're first given them. But you just establish consequences. In this case, you want the dinner, clean the house. If they don't clean the house, he doesn't make dinner. Well, that sucks. You're going to go to bed hungry or fend for yourselves. Well, those are those consequences. Then the next time when he's like, hey, dishes or no dinner, if they're hungry, guarantee they're scrubbing some pots. At the same time, you start there. Then you build up. You're watching too much TV, hit the circuit breaker, turn off the TV, go play outside. And as you can see, what he's doing here is he's teaching them small, inconsequential steps to establish boundaries and leadership in his home, along with adequate consequences so that when people don't follow them, they don't get what they want of the situation. It's inspiring the confidence in his leadership. And yeah, these are basic steps, but once he gets good at these, he starts to get good at doing it in the other things in his life that he likes. And it pays off in the end. So this is a short one. It's easy. It's just a nice example of showing how you basically parent. Not just a girl, not just kids, it's everybody. So enjoy, guys. Catch you on the next episode. Cheers.